Good morning. Greetings from Los Angeles. Wow, bad way to start out the video. A rocky throat. Nothing like a little cup of coffee. Still have a little bit of a head cold left, but we're soldiering on. Today's VR is in response to Yadsim's 11 questions. And if you haven't seen these 11 questions, he's divided them up into a series of videos. I put the link in the bucket below for you to see what's going on. His first question, I would like to start with my VR in response to that. And the first question is, what is your most gifted book? In the sense of, what is the book that you give as a gift most often? My problem is I don't give books anymore. I find it's just too difficult to engineer the experience of a particular book for a person. It's kind of like arranging for your friend a blind date. Sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes your friend thinks you're an idiot. So, as a matter of course, I really don't give books to anybody anymore. Now, if somebody asks me, where did you get it? Or, wow, I really would like to read this book, and I happen to have the book, I'll give it to them. But I don't determine what books a person should read. I think that's more a matter of self-discovery. A person who's interested in reading will find their way. It's not as if you can't find books. So for me, smoking my Peterson Roundstone Spigot Triple Niner. And in it, John Aylesbury 40th edition. Good Christmas blend. Okay. My last video that I did, that I've since deleted, I didn't publish it, but this is my second tape. It was 31 minutes. I had a great time. I love talking. But all I could think about was, man, the person on the other end could have gone through 2 bowls of tobacco for the amount of time it took me to answer this question. So this is my second take, and hopefully I'm going to keep it to 15 minutes or under. All right, so the question has been modified a little bit, and modified within the parameters that's acceptable to Yadsim. And so the modified question is, what book or books have been most influential in your life? As I said before, my last attempt to answer the question ran 31 minutes. Can't be doing that. So I've narrowed it down even more, and I've come up with a few that I think I can discuss in a timely way. The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The sheer art of Dostoevsky, the world of moral reasoning, of conflict, of struggle with evil versus good, this fascinated me ever since I was a kid. And I read this book when I was, I think, in my early 20s. And it's had a profound effect on me in the sense of opening me up to the possibility, or maybe not the possibility, but what the struggle of good and evil actually looks like in a practical way. The other book, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I read that. Oh, hello, Lucy. Lucy, my cat. I read that when I was in my teenager years. I think, I can't remember, 16 maybe, 15, 16. I read it in the summer. And what it opened up in me, what it revealed to me was a person's obsessions can destroy them. It showed me the dynamic of kind of this self-destructive dynamic inherent in pursuit of something for all the wrong reasons. The third novel was The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Neffenegger. I love the idea of time travel, and Neffenegger combines an intense romance with the unlikeliness of the ability of one to go back in time. In a sense, we all are time travelers. We travel back in time in our memories on a regular basis. So, to some extent, this is an allegory, perhaps. But when we travel back in time to whenever we want to in our memories, can't really change it, but we can rewrite the narrative. We can view the experience in a different way, and in doing so, think about it in a different way. And in doing that, in a sense, change the present, or at least change the present consciousness. Good story, though. I highly recommend it. We're at 8 minutes. Okay. Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet. It's a collection of letters from the famous German poet Rainer Rilke. And it's not an epistolatory form, it's an actual form. These are actual letters that he has written to a man last name Kapus, who is writing this great poet for advice on how to be a poet. And Rilke's response is amazing, is beautiful. And there are these series of letters that have been translated into German, or translated into English from German, that I highly recommend. They're quite beautiful. And for me, I suppose it helped me understand what it would mean to be an artist. What does it mean to be an artist? What is the artistic process? So it's quite good, and it touches on more than just art. As all art does, it touches on life, and so of course that broadens the appeal of the book out a bit. 2 more to go. Next one is the Bible. Not really a book, more like an anthology. I'm not going to get into the different versions of the Bible, but for me it's been a sacred text ever since I was a kid. And it has been a source of great inspiration and great companionship in my own spiritual journey. And has formed me in many ways, has formed me within my own faith system, but continues to form me and, in a sense, continues to challenge me and give me a sense of the presence of my faith. As would anything that is sacred. Something that's sacred means it's been set apart. To some extent, our time together, yours and mine, set apart. If it's been purposely set apart, it's sacred. Smoking a pipe, I can see how pipes and religion have been so intertwined, or spirituality and pipe smoking. It's a deliberative setting apart of one's time. It's hard to unconsciously smoke a pipe, or at least without it biting you, or without it heating up, without it reminding you that you better slow down, you better start paying attention, or you're going to be in trouble. Finally, I'll close with Oedipus Rex by Sophocles. The book is taught quite often in a horrendous way with some Victorian notion of what a tragedy actually is. I won't get into that here, but that's not what the Greeks meant. It's a pretty stark story. It has stark implications. It's part of a trilogy. And in it, Oedipus the king comes to a rather horrific fate. But it's the way that he reacts to that fate, the way he deals with it in an attempt to maintain his idea of virtue, that is commendable and full of courage. The end of the story, end of the play, Oedipus Rex, there's a set of lines, quatrain. Okay. I took out my own, here we go. My own, this is why you have bookmarks, folks. It's the last four lines of Oedipus Rex that stuck with me. Here they go. Let every man in mankind's frailty consider his last day, and let none presume on his good fortune until he find life at his death a memory without pain. It's telling us not to presume on our good fortune. Got to think that the reason we've had such a good life, that we've been so fortunate, has anything to do with us. For the Greeks, life was unpredictable and random and could be quite harsh. You can't control your destiny in the broader sense, but what you can control is how you respond to that, which befalls you. It's a rather harsh tale. It's a cautionary tale, to be sure, but it's a really good one. And it helps one, I think, remember that we're human, prone to mistakes. Bad things can happen. But the central thing that you can hold on to is how you react to them, how you respond to them. For me, that's a lesson of the Greeks in their tragedies. Coming up to 15 minutes, almost on the dot. Thanks for hanging around. Hope you have a wonderful holiday, and we'll be talking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.